Welcome to The Turnover. The format is simple. Take 3 multifamily media network hosts with a maintenance background and put them together. The twist is that, like maintenance in the apartment industry, they have to respond to the unknown. You see, 2 of the hosts don't know what the topic is. The fun part is there's no limit and you get to listen in. So what ideas are we turning today?
All right, everybody gets moved. Perfect. Well, we are lucky because the Turnover Live is going to kick things off here. So we got a little entertainment here for you to watch. So I am super excited to bring to the stage Paul, Chris, and Mark. Come on up, guys.
Welcome to the Turnover. The format is simple. Take 3 multifamily media network hosts with a maintenance background and put them together. The twist is just like maintenance in the apartment industry. We have to respond to the unknown. You see, at least 2 of us don't know what the heck we're talking about. The fun part is there's no limits to topics, and you here at the MX Summit get to participate. So, gentlemen, what are we turning today?
That's a great question, Paul. Thank you to PropertyManagement and Index for having us out here today to do this. We really appreciate it. Welcome to a live episode of The Turnover. We're happy you are here. This podcast, everything's made up. The points don't matter. It's basically as if the points are as useless as sink Brook on a work order. All right. So we'll just see what happens, but I hope you're enjoying the food. Neither of us could eat today. So what are you doing, Chris? Because your headphones were
We're not. They remember canceling. I knew you were going to tell that to me. Okay, we're doing a live podcast, so I always wear my headphones for the podcast. So let's go ahead and get started. I had the pleasure a few weeks ago of having a conversation with Ray Heston, and I threw out a challenge to him to ask the first question that none of us know the answer to. Have no idea what the question is, and we're having to make it up. So, Ray, I see you in the back. What is your question for Paul, Mark, and I?
You all put me on the spot, by the way. I have a bunch of questions that I'd love for you to answer.
You get a 1.
But I only get 1. So, in light of some of the stuff that we've been talking about and sharing around the ability for maintenance to impact renewal rates and what it means to NOI, what it means to asset valuations, let's imagine that every CFO and the financial controller believes that this can happen, and now they care. What will be the first order of changes that you think from the top down will happen once everybody agrees this is real?
Does anyone else have a question that they would like to? I'm sorry.
I thought pretty hard about that question. So you got to listen to that one for me. And so really, and I think the whole thing is more simply, what's the chain of events that you anticipate would occur, knowing what you know about these organizations? They know what's going to be the thing that happens next.
So thank you for making it simple, Ray, because we are just spitting sense. So really, really appreciate it dumbing it down for us. One of the things that I found interesting from the very first day was talking about churn and renewal. It's something that we talk about often when we preach, when we're doing training sessions, when we're talking to each other, when we're talking to peers in the industry. But it's already starting to happen, right? Everybody knows that maintenance is the face of the organization now. And more, we're seeing organizations and companies really focusing on what are we going to do for maintenance, because they're not just turning a wrench anymore. They are the face. They are driving renewals. They are keeping people on the property in addition to keeping expenses down. So I'll turn it over to which one do you got, Chris? I think from a chain of events standpoint, which you were asking for, I think the first thing that organizations will begin to do is focus on developing those business skills in their maintenance workforce beyond solve the work order, sign it off legibly, and move on to the next step. And what that means is right now, especially in multifamily, we've got our leasing office, our operations folks, they're gaining regular training events, apartment associations, vendors, all the office staff continues regularly to go to trainings. And yet on the maintenance side of the house, they might be lucky if there is one focused e-learning session per quarter. There is a staggering delta in between what office and maintenance is seeing. I mean, that is easy to tell just in the conference speaking center. I mean, we three for conferences are looked to do speaking events. There might be less than 10 national speakers who train maintenance people. Compare that to people who train business, management, finance, all of those other topics. So I think the very first domino that falls is that organizations begin putting resources and time into developing skills in their maintenance teams beyond let's plunge a toilet better, let's place an order better, let's fix an air conditioning differently because the new EPA regulation is out. I think that's the first domino to fall.
Sure. Yeah. And to kind of piggyback off of an episode that we released this past Saturday with the question from Ray that we recorded at Apartmentalize, one of the other dominoes to Paul's point here is maintenance training. You know, you're going to have to start investing in these maintenance teams. Like right now, the average maintenance person on a multifamily property receives 7 hours of training in a year. And those 7 hours are mainly spent in front of a computer doing onboarding, fair housing.
As a professional maintenance educator, I double your sentence.
No, it's crazy. And that has to be the first, that has to be the first thing. I mean, when you start to see, when people start to realize that maintenance is the face of your organization, maintenance is responsible for keeping your residents in their homes, if you're going to have to start investing in those individuals, there's no other way.
So we're definitely starting to see that. So Ray, thank you for that question for us to turn over. So let me turn over to Mike. Mike, I know you were on the floor all day yesterday. You got to meet some great people. Some great conversations were had. And I know that you were able to get a question from somebody out in the audience. If you don't know what the question is, well, I'm interested to hear what the question is.
Okay. All right. So this question, I did ask around to a couple of individuals yesterday, but I got this question from Sarah Hatch. Hello. Thank you very much for the question. Appreciate it. And I hope I word this correctly. So it is, what is the one thing an operator can do to save on the bottom line from a maintenance perspective?
Save on the bottom line from a maintenance perspective. My first answer is to echo something that was said earlier today, is if going into an apartment and you have your workers, your technicians, your tradespeople going into an apartment, ensure that your tradespeople, one, have an eye towards, they remove the blinders. They have an eye towards something beyond what it says on their work order, on their ticket, in their app. In other words, if I have a maintenance technician going into a home to go plunge a toilet, well, while they're plunging the toilet, I would like for them to look for leaking faucets. I'd like for them to open up underneath the cabinets and look for the 4-letter M word that I know doesn't ever occur on any of our properties.
Organic growth.
The last I heard was bio growth.
Bio growth.
But we have technicians that when they're there, especially because of that travel time, I need them to be paying attention to more than exactly what's in front of them. What measures can they do that if I take care of it right now, I save a trip? That would be the beginning place.
Yeah, along those lines, we're talking a lot about in-house labor versus third-party labor versus a combination. When you're setting up your systems with your vendor partners, you could have the conversation with the plumber and say, every time I send you out to unclog a toilet, just do me a favor. I need you to look at X, Y, and Z. In the plumbing realm, I'm not going to ask them to, change a ceiling fan or swap out an appliance. But I think it's really important because, especially in a single family home environment, it is dirty my outlook. It is, you don't want to go for X, you're going to go do X. But we come from multifamily, so we're looking at everything all the time. And I think that's a really important thing to work with your vendors, suppliers on, to get them to report back or address something, put it to your contract. If you see a small leak and the repair cost only costs up to X number of dollars, you're authorized to make that, providing you prove, of the work and work completion and all that. So I think it's really important because it's going to save you a work order. It's going to save you money in the long run and future damages that can be caused by not looking at those things when you have the opportunity to.
I would say the second piece of that's the starting place, is opening that up to beyond just the one work order. The second piece is something that Ray began on the keynote that we ended up talking about. And that is the importance of maintenance in the renewal. Well, that means that when we turn a home, when we turn an apartment, we should begin looking at getting that apartment ready with the eyes towards the renewal. Meaning, if I'm in a home and I see, we're on plumbing for some reason, if I see a faucet and that faucet works, it's adequate. However, I know that within 12 to 18 months, that faucet is going to be out of design or the finish is going to finally wear off after all the cleaning. Now, before my new resident moves in, now is the time to replace it. That would save a work order, a late night call. That can extend out to things from the visible fixtures, go to the angle stops underneath the sink. So where if your property still has the old compression angle stops underneath the sink, it's vacant, you have to cut the water off to the home, or in our case, the multifamily building. If you have to cut the water off to do that, everything I can do while the apartment is vacant, so I don't make it inconvenient for my new resident, I'm going to do it now. Take off the old compression angle stop and put in a ball valve angle stop. Things like that. It's easier to do when the cabinet's empty as opposed to the residence got it shoved full of all the cleaning supplies, the toilet paper, the Kleenex, the towels, everything else that's underneath there that we have to get them to move out. So I'm going to begin doing turns, getting apartments ready with the renewal in mind, even before my new resident inhabits the apartment.
Right. And we just, Don Beveridge, who was on stage right before us, right before lunch, there was a slide up toward the end of it that said, these are the work orders that you want to stay away from that first 90-day window. Because as those work orders come in, your renewal rate starts to drastically drop as these things come in. And plumbing was, I don't remember where it was on the list, but it was there. Water leaks, those are big things. So, taking the steps ahead of time, they can be quality products. Don't put in products that are going to fail within 6 months. You're going to be back out there. You want to put in material that you can actually do repairs on. You don't want to put things in that are throwaways. Like, hey, yes, this looks great. It's going to last for your 6-month lease term. And then I'm going to be buying it again. I'm going to have some money in there again. You're going to be in there replacing it again. The more you turn those shutoffs off and on, the more they're going to fail. So start taking the time now to mitigate those and start putting in quality product that in the event something does happen, it's at least prepared for them. So I want to shift gears a little bit, and you gave you a little bit of segue there, Mark, so thank you.
You have a tendency to do that. Just before lunch, great presentation from Dom regarding centralization. My least favorite word. And AI, which is something that we love and hate to talk about. Hold on, I'm getting there. I know it might be a long walk. And automation. So one of the things that I liked from day one was the Mel Matt's call automation. I thought that was a fantastic demo, and that is a really great use of AI. We've had lots of AI conversations. So my question, like part one of the question, is what do you want to see from AI or AI, generative AI systems to better automate maintenance practices? What do I want to see from fake knowledge systems, artificial intelligence systems to stop? We're on the edge of your seat during Donna's presentation. Yes, actually.
He thinks Terminator is a documentary, but just
Yes. I'm the old guy.
little history on Paul here.
I'm asked a lot about technology. What technology are you excited for? I said, I'm not really excited about technology because I think the number one technological need is we need people to answer the phone.
Yes.
And the second thing, though, I now have to pause after the live demonstration. And by the way, John, that was an amazing thing yesterday that you did. The call with the emergency call out while the resident was on the phone. That was brilliant. Matt might begin to change my mind a little bit. About this much, maybe about this much. I'm intrigued, especially what Don was saying earlier, and the possibilities of AI. I'm both intrigued and a little bit scared. Intrigued, first of all, by the ability of a resident to say words, go into the computer about something, and then the AI be programmed or taught on what the amenities are at your property or that individual home. And based on what information the AI has, be able to give prescriptive results to a resident. For instance, if a resident says that my toilet is overflowing, you have programmed or taught your AI that you have Mansfield toilets in the bathrooms. Mansfield doesn't have a flapper, which means if your resident uses the old solution of jiggle the handle, it does nothing. However, a Mansfield toilet has a really unique thing about the toilet, and that is if you pull up on the handle with a little bit of pressure, it will force the cup that's on the inside of the tank to seal tighter and will stop the toilet itself. That's a unique thing only to that branded toilet. So I'm intrigued with the possibility, taking a lot of that information together, that if my resident with Mansfield toilets calls in and says my toilet's overflowing, the AI, knowing all that, could say, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, pull up on the handle a little bit. Did that stop the water from going down in the mold? That's the intriguing thing. It's also scary to me because then we're taking away the opportunity for somebody to learn that in order to pass that information along. That's the second piece, where Don's statement there of more and more roles are going to become supervisory. That's the part that scares me, because the more roles that become supervisory, we have more and more titles, more and more people in areas of leadership without the experiential knowledge that would occur through developing into that supervisory role. That's the scary part for me. And again, yes, I will live on that hill. Terminator is a documentary. I know. No, I know you have a much better answer than that. So we have 9 minutes left. What's the second part of your question? The second part is, what should we be teaching maintenance professionals now to prepare for these very fast changes that are happening? These call centers are out there, and we've talked for decades about, we just want to make sure that when people pick up the phone, they get the right information. Well, guess what? That's here. That's here with AI. They are getting the information. They're getting it accurately. They're analyzing the information. Okay, we've talked about this. We've talked about speed of getting work order to the maintenance center and not just sitting in a file folder anymore. Well, you have that now with instant call out. You have that with showing up on the mobile app. Check. What do we got to train on now that we're finally getting things that in my 20 years in the business, we have wanted, hoped for, preached, let us do this, let us do that, get us this, get us that. We're finally getting it. We're finally getting everything in maintenance that we wanted. What do we still want?
This is gonna be interesting. I'm scared to tackle that, but it's one of the issues I have with AI is that AI is progressing so fast that I feel AI is going to learn faster than our people on site.
It already is.
That's my point. And so how do we get them? Yeah. How do we get them? Oh, geez. Training. We're gonna have to get out of, unfortunately, maintenance professionals. We're taught to use our hands. We're taught how to fix things. We're taught how to do this. Something's broken. Let me see it. Let me learn how to fix it. Now we're gonna have to learn computer systems. We're gonna have to learn, and we're gonna have to learn just everything that AI can do, and figure out how AI is going to proceed and tell the residents so that we can then come in behind them and do it correctly, or if AI gets the wrong thing, if AI gets confused about a mains field or a typical ball cock assembly or fluid master, whatever it is, there's just I'm terrified.
I know where you're going, and we're definitely going to be unpacking this one a lot on future episodes. There's no question. But for me, it's getting them to use it. Is whenever there's a new technology, is you have to get them to use it. It is a tool in the tool bag. I constantly say, when I've had maintenance technicians say, "Well, I don't use a phone. I don't like mobile. I don't like, I like it the old school way." And I say, "Do you still use your plunger? Would you tell me honestly?" No, I'm not going to use a plunger on that toilet. Like, well, that's a tool in your tool bag, and AI and computers, that's part of it. I know you want to talk. My other favorite thing to do when we're together is cut you off. So I'm not going to even let you talk, but I'm going to throw it to you to ask. We have a few minutes left. We had a great run-in on the floor yesterday during putt-putt, and I wanted to make sure that we got that question here before we wrap today. I got a question from Reggie's still here. It's awesome. By the way, how many of you have ever listened to an episode of The Turnover? Can we see a show of hands? We're curious. Okay. There's some. That's awesome. Because this is not our photo right after this. Yeah, right. Reggie's question yesterday was awesome. And it was just this. What is the most horrifyingly grotesque, disgusting thing that you have encountered doing maintenance? Yeah, I know. I see the goosebumps right there, Mark. It's good. That's right. That's it.
No, the most disgusting thing I cannot say on stage while we're being filmed. If you would like the answer, find me afterwards. I think there are some of the melt tables. After this session, come find me, and we'll have you sign a waiver, and then I can divulge that to you. But the most disgusting thing, honestly, is just you get these work orders for residents who love to call in and say, hey, I need you to recalk my tub. And you walk in and you peel back the shower curtain and the shower walls are the color of our shirts. Never been cleaned. And there's this strip of tub caulk that goes around the tile. And you think to yourself, okay, one, they probably want me to clean their tub for them. So here's what we'll do. We'll scrape out the dirty caulk and we'll clean like that 2-inch cap around it, put a nice white clean caulk and leave everything else. That's true story. True story. I got wrote up because I just cleaned the caulk line. I got wrote up. Just clean the caulk line. I have much worse. I'll make mine real simple. It was a cat quarter, single studio apartment, 43 cats. Yeah, it was a small studio. That was by far a single family. Owners right now are something to check on. It was a scene out of like SVU, like watching them take out these cats, and they had to find 43 cages to take out 40. It was one after another was coming off the elevator. And then I had to go into the apartment afterwards. And rather not talk about it. So excellent question. Reggie, thank you so much. And I think we're gonna wrap up a little bit here. So I wanted to say thank you to the questions that we got from Ray, both at Apartmentalized that we had on our show that just premiered this past Saturday. Our shows go live on YouTube and Spotify and Apple every 2 weeks on Saturdays. We have great conversations like this, but we also get great questions from all of you. So we're going to be here for the rest of the day today and tonight. Please come see Paul or myself. Mark has to leave, but Paul and I are going to be here. We'd love to hear your questions. If you're willing to get on camera, we actually will have a video of you asking your question on a future episode of the Turnover. We'd like to thank Ray and the entire email team for inviting us and giving us this time. This was a lot of fun, and you guys got any quick before we throw it to somebody else?
Quick. The quickest thing I've got is just my answer to the question. Most disgusting thing. Cut off. Yeah. Cut off. That's right. Cut off. Answer, man. There's a reason for that. That's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you all very much.
Now it's your opportunity to respond and let us know what we missed. If there's any topics of conversation you'd like us to turn over, head over to multifamilymedianetwork.com and leave us a message.